Let's see. Please, internet, don't be dumb today.
Linda, did you color your hair or something?
No, it's up in a bun.
A bun.
Just
It's in a bun.
Much darker than usual.
It's it's still slightly damp.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So
Linda's like, I have people at my house. It's crazy.
And there's lots of people at my house right now. It's funny. We started playing the new Scion game because my husband's a backer, and so he's got all the new books. And then my phone alarm went off. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go record now. They're like, great. We'll probably be done with this combat by the time you're back. So.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Linda, go ahead and give me some talking.
Okay, I can talk some more. I was just talking, but I am talking more now. I crochet. I have it with me.
Good, good. All right, I'm a little loud. All right, September, give me some yakking.
This is the testing where we yak into the microphone.
Indeed, that's what we do. We're super good at it. I need to come down still. Why am I so loud today? Well, I'm loud every day, but like loud in the. I have to rename this, otherwise I'm gonna get screwed up later. It's gonna drive me bananas.
Do you want me to record from my side?
I am always okay with alternate, but we do capture it in Twitch, and then I also record it on my side. But
then you should have plenty.
Yeah, we do pretty good with that. It gives us our backup for when my recording has occasionally failed, or the Twitch recording has failed, or the internet tries to eat everything that you do because it wants to make you sad.
Well, how about this? It doesn't take much for me to just.
Yeah, no, totally.
Although, you guys are going to hear yourself for a second. Go ahead and say some things.
Yep.
I was surprised to hear you guys were using Zencaster for some of the contest thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Zencaster.
That's what we started on. We were beta.
Yeah, I figured it must have gotten better.
We beta tested. We were in the alpha and beta for Zencaster because I somehow got in because of a buddy of mine. So we were in super early, which meant we didn't have to pay. And then after a while, they were like, okay, we've given you guys like a little too long of the freebie stuff. We're going to have actually have you pay if you want to keep getting it. I'm like, but it's been so great since it's been free. But when we didn't get free anymore, it was like, okay, the timing of moving to Twitch anyway was like, all right, this works.
Well, not only that, but
the quality sometimes
it was great
rough.
to have the 3 separate tracks. However, the lag between them,
yes,
made editing so hard.
There were a lot of issues with it initially, and I've heard from people it has gotten a lot better. But yeah, no, I agree.
It's been my experience has been because I've been doing a ton of interviewing for America's Next Top Podcaster, like in between the seasons. And so, like, I've been using Zencaster. I've just been using Brian's account, and it works fine. You know what I found is, like, you get past a 20-minute mark on the thing, and it starts to kind of crap out. That's why I try to keep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they changed to. The free version is only 20 minutes, so you get good quality for that amount of time, and then they're like, all right, cool, we need to like.
Well, this paid for account or whatever that's.
No, I know, but I wonder if that's related because that is the freebie thing is 20 minutes.
It could be.
Well, I think it had to do with server lag in different parts of the country because at the time we were in 3 different time zones.
All right, I got a recording on my end too, just so you know.
Awesome. Okay. All right, that's fantastique et super. Feeling good.
Oh, I should open a Twitch window or some junk.
Yeah, I've got. What up, Breezy Bone? Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I'm doing, but I just record it straight through OBS, and then I pull I record in high enough quality that I can actually pull wave quality audio off of my video, and I just convert it afterwards. I actually downgrade it, though, before I upload it to Ember, because we don't really need it to be wave audio. I just... because it gets too crazy. Oh, I'm sure Bryce would yell at me if he knew that. But Bryce is very particular about things, and he was talking about podcasting stuff, and I'm like, ugh, you know too much, too smart. Okay. All right, everybody good? Everybody feeling good?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
I
Oh, geez, seriously? Okay, where am I
doing.
getting
I did
notifications?
the Facebook, and now I did the tweet.
Yeah, I tweeted.
Are you doing
too.
the Diamond Club share?
I already did that earlier.
Okay.
I did all the shares in all the places. I gotta figure out where my BattleNet is still open because I'm gonna keep getting notifications. It'll be very annoying. That seems problematic.
All right.
Alrighty. Looking good.
He knows better to message me right now. Damn.
Yeah, I just hit up the man friend. I'm like, I'm starting my podcast right now because he just messaged me, and I'm like, of course, the message comes through. Like, right, good timing, sir.
Always happens. People are like, "Oh, I'm not going to text Alex all day," and then as soon as he sits down to frickin' do a podcast,
It's like, oh, it's time. It is time for the messaging.
That's what we're gonna do.
All right. I am still getting Ember. I apologize, but these audio pieces, we're gonna have to talk to BVJ because I can't figure out for the life of me how to get them to balance correctly because I can't go low enough on one of them or high enough on another one. So I can't get them to be all level set. Does that make sense? That's a really confusing
Yeah,
thing.
where are you doing that? In OBS?
No, I am doing it in on my Stream Deck because I'm pulling the audio file itself. And then I'm adjusting the volume from the audio file. So like here we go. Like this is the I think Plushie is one. Plushie's fine. I think it's Grapevine that's really loud. Yeah, I don't know. So just letting you know.
Yeah, don't worry about it because when I do the volume, it comes out fine in editing. It equalizes because I run. It's something that came up during America's Next Podcaster, and I was like, and Brian was talking about not knowing that. I've known that for years, like the
right
where you volumize everything, and it's the, the negative 60 and LUFS or whatever. Like, I've been doing that to us for a couple of years, so as long as we all sound good to you and to us, that does come out fine in the wash, no matter how it looks. I know it looks wonky. It looks wonky now when I import it, but it's working fine in the output now.
Yeah, if you sign up for Prime, Breezy Bone, just remember there's always links to that on our various channels, and that supports people that have Amazon affiliate stuff. Just say it. Get that Prime. Give me that Jeff Bezos money. I need it. He doesn't need it. We need it. Somebody
gifted me a sub to Frog Pants a couple days ago.
It's funny when I occasionally log in and I realize that I've gotten community gifted a sub, and I'll be like, I'm not subbed to that channel. And I'm like, oh, wait, I randomly got a gift. That's cool. Well, because when you pay for like $5 or whatever, it just randomly gives it to people that it thinks should get a sub. It's just random. And that's how Curly Time Jumper came in and did like 25 subs because he's crazy. And not only did Curly's thing go off for like 15 minutes, but also it was like Hydrate Bot got a sub.
Really?
Curly's fake bot account that he uses in secret got a sub. Like, whoops. Hydrate Bot needed that sub though, for real. Okay, I'm good. If you guys are all good. Oh, Alex, can you talk for me too? Let me just check your volume.
Hello. Testing all the things. Can you hear Alex talk?
Can Alex come up just a smidgen?
Do you want me to push mine up?
Yeah, just a smidge though. Not a whole lot. You're pretty solid.
Okay. More.
Nope. Perfect.
Okay.
Try it again.
Hello? Too loud?
Okay. Nope. What? Say it again.
Say what again?
Anything. Words.
Saying words and things to go with the words.
Good. All right. Yeah, you're solid. Everything should be good. Folks, tell me if it's not good, those of you watching. Rock on. I'm feeling good. You guys are feeling good?
Yep.
Feeling great.
Dig it. Okay. Rock and roll. Strap in, kiddos.
Strap in, strap on. What?
Yeah, right? All of those things.
Yes.
Okay. This fan is keeping me alive right now, but also blowing my hair, and I feel like I'm in like some. If I turn that way, I feel like I'm in like in a music video.
I mean that's you naturally had that in Vegas. Like I saw, like she walked in the room and it was just.
Yeah, that's right. That's just how it works. All right, rock on. I'm gonna kick her off. Is it episode 135 or am I wrong? I just realized I didn't double check that number. Shit.
Well-
Hold on. Hang on.
I'm like, somebody check before I go.
I got.
I like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Redwall was 134.
Yeah.
Okay,
134 was
awesome.
book club.
Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Dig it. Good. Okay, now I'm good.
Games, gear, grills. Welcome to the Geek Grills Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 135 of the Geek Grills Podcast. The Geek Grills Podcast still supported primarily by our patrons at patreon.com/grills or here on Twitch. If you're with us live, I am the Jen, and I am joined today by my lovely co-host, Linda, also known as True Noob,
Hello.
and September, also known as 9 of 12.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're all here. By the way, just take a moment, everyone. All, like, the planets have aligned, and there are 3 grills in one podcast again. Oh, man. But today we also have a special guest, host of Joystick and Mouse and the Dad Chronicle, and one of the finalists from America's Next Top Podcaster, Alex Albisu. Hello.
Hello, and you said my last name right. I'm so happy.
Yes.
Well done.
I try real hard. That's like the hardest thing.
That's a tough one, guys. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're super stoked to have you. So, all you crazy nerdies, what have you been up to, Linda? What's been your, well, what have you been up to the last couple weeks?
I went to MomoCon. I had a really, really good time. Even though I didn't finish my Pink Diamond cosplay, for those of you who are with us live, you can see it. Did I turn the right way? No, I did not. You can see it. It's there behind me, not quite done yet. But I did get to wear a crocheted cosplay because I had one done from Dragon Con last year. So I did my Sailor Saturn. The 3 most asked questions in order were, is that crochet/knit? Did you make that? And are you hot?
Yeah.
Every time. Every time.
But your Sailor Saturn costume is so good, though. I love it. I think it's cool you got to wear it again.
I was so happy. My husband managed to take one of my favorite pictures that anyone has ever taken of me at a con in a cosplay. And I don't know if that's, I don't know if that makes me sound self-centered, but I don't care.
No, not
it
at all.
looks really good.
Nope.
Fine.
You have to love and appreciate how much effort and work you put in. It's awesome.
If you can hear a little bit in my voice, I did get sick afterwards. I'm getting over that. I didn't get so sick that it like flattened me. I was still able to like go to work. But I guess my flu shot from Dragon Con is finally wearing off. So time to get another one.
Flu shot.
Was it the full blown flu, or did you just get like?
No, it was like a head. It's like con crud head cold. So.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the worst. I had the flu twice this season, and it's like the first time I got a flu shot, and I'm like, great. Good job, guys who picked which flu strains to use for the flu shot. It did not work out very well. Well, yeah,
You
Concrete
did good
sucks.
with that this year.
Yeah,
Like, 2 of us got the flu shot and 2 of us didn't, and it was the right one because the 2 people that didn't get their shot got the flu.
do you guys do this on purpose? Like, is this a family experiment? Now I have to know. Like,
Well, no, it was just like when I wanted to take Fletcher, he had little colds and stuff, and you can't get it when you already have a cold.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, Rob's a grown-up and should go get his own, and he fucking didn't, so he didn't get one.
I just think it's to be funny. All right, guys, this season, 2 of us are going to get the flu shot, pull straws, and the other 2 are not, and we're going to see how this works out.
Although my tattoo artist was being all anti-vax weird, like, I don't know, I just don't trust it. And I was like, listen, dude. Flu just went through my house. Half got it, half didn't. Guess what?
Yeah, I know a
Totally
lot of
worked.
people that didn't get the flu that did the flu shot, so it's like, it's sometimes it just depends on the strain. Well, September, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been door dashing a whole lot more. That's been fun. I'm trying to like save for more tattoo work, but the new dog keeps costing money. Like he got over his ear infection and all that, but then he got out of the fence, and so I got like electric fencing stuff, and he keeps getting in the trash, so I got him a crate, and yeah. So now my door dashing keeps going to this stupid dog. But I did sell some jewelry.
Yay.
At the Coffee Lodge. They gave me my first check the other day.
That's awesome.
And that I put straight into the tattoo fund.
Yay.
Mine, damn it.
I know. They're expensive.
Yeah, and this back piece is like taking a lot.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. And they're changing the commission at Coffee Lodge from 5% to 20%, which was predictable, and that's still really good. That's better commission than I've ever gotten around here. So I'm like, no, that's fine. I knew you were crazy. I tried to tell you. Well, good for you trying 5.
Right?
Comics. Mention the comics. So, Dear Justice League, if you haven't seen this, it's freaking adorable. I love the art. I left my copy downstairs. But anyway, I picked up a copy on Free Comic Book Day. And then my friend Leanne, her son Thomas, he showed up at my cookout this weekend, and he brought me an Iron Man he had drawn me. He went to and did a YouTube tutorial and drew me this cool Iron Man, and it's on my fridge now. And then I ran Leanne that night. She's like, Thomas is getting interested in reading, and I want him to do comics. Like, what do you think? I was like, all right, I have the perfect thing. So Dear Justice League it's like people are emailing like Superman saying, man, sometimes I just screw up, and you're so perfect. Are you always perfect? And then it kind of goes through Superman's day, and then he writes back to the kid because Superman does a lot of screwing up after thinking, I never do. And it's a really neat little pen pal with superheroes thing.
That actually might be cool, because I always get frustrated at like the perfection of Superman. That's always been the annoying. It's like it's kind of like, what's his name, Scott?
Different heroes. So
Scott
it's like
from the
kids
X-Men.
writing in and getting responses, and the little comics tell the story of the superhero's day while he's answering, or she.
That's cool.
So I looked it up, and I was like, Leanne, I mean, we want to not go. You don't want to go buy a bunch of them. He's gonna hate it. So I'm gonna give her the Free Comic Book Day one, because I'll tell you what, folks, Free Comic Book Day is so great for that. Go give them to your local elementary school. Go take them to your library. It's a good way to get people interested and doesn't cost you anything. So I'm going to give her that. And I did look it up, and I sent her a link, because in August, the trade paperback is coming out. So he'll be able to see this issue. If he likes it, in August, you'll be able to buy him basically the whole set.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So that's nerdy shit I've been up to.
Yeah, like lots of, we're all catching up at the same time. It's been kind of crazy. But I guess getting into like spring and summer, it gets like that sometimes, travel and all the things. Alex, what nerdy, geeky stuff is going on in your universe?
Oh my God. All right. So where do I even freaking start? So I've been traveling over the past couple weeks internationally, which has, I'm kind of geeky. I'm starting to become a little geeky about travel, and I've like started to enjoy some of the places that we've gone to. Like I went to Budapest for work, which was pretty fun. And if you're following me on social media, you probably saw a bunch of pictures from there. And then we went to London. And let me tell you guys about the Harry Potter tour that I took in London. This was like,
oh, awesome.
This was the studio tour. That's what I like that shirt. Nice. And so the studio tour, they had like all the set pieces, everything from the movies was set out. and it was guys, it was legit. I posted a ton of pictures on social media, so people can go check that out. And of course, like they spit you out not only once into a gift shop, but they spit you out twice into a gift shop. Halfway through the thing, it's like a 3-hour tour, by the way. So it like halfway through, after you literally go through the Forbidden Forest in from Harry Potter, where like you see all these gigantic ass spiders and stuff pop out of nowhere, which is terrifying, by the way. Legitimately, it made a little girl cry as she was walking through, like the lightning erupts. like they're gigantic spider. Like if you remember them from movies or whatever, these are the actual props, and they come like jumping out and falling from the ceiling and everything. And this poor little girl walks in all happy, and then like starts freaking out and turns around and books it. And parents had to go chasing after her. So that was kind of funny and sad all at the same time. But right after that, they spit you out into this this gift shop, and then so of course we spent money there, and a lot more money than we should have. And then at the very end of the thing, they're like, they spit you out into another gift shop, and they got completely like different stuff in that gift shop compared to the one that we were just in. So between all that and like the butterbeer that we got at the end of the tour, that was all awesome. So like that was kind of like a highlight of a geeky thing that I got into. Beyond that, playing a little bit of World of Warcraft, and finally got my Culturian humans. Very excited about that.
Yeah.
Like level 1, it was just kind of a goal, an objective of mine, and I hit it, so it was fun. That's what I've got going on. Speaking of comics, by the way, Saga. You guys familiar with Saga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've started reading that because my co-host on Joystick and Mouse has a couple of like the big like compendium things. So he gave me the first one, so I'm working my way through that. That is
awesome.
great.
It's so good. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what I got going on.
Fun stuff. I have been a busy bee myself. Let's see. So work still with the new job, getting settled in, all those things. And it was weird because I had like 2 days of work and then Vegas and then back. So it was a little strange going from Vegas to back to the real world when it's like a new job. But yeah, school started. I've like third to last class, so that's awesome. As far as my TV watching, I've been continuing to my binge fest of things that I've been meaning to watch. So I did make it through everything that's available for Handmaid's Tale. I still say it's really good. I definitely encourage folks to check that out. I was actually impressed. And I caught up on Fear the Walking Dead, which I hadn't watched in a really long time. I started actually from the beginning and got caught up on it. And then I had no idea that the new season is available as of today. And so I was like, oh, that was like a random, like, delightful happenstance, because now I'm caught up just in time and I don't have to wait very long. So that's awesome. So I definitely will be watching that. Same with the playing of WoW. I have had a Tauren druid for 8 million years that I have been trying to turn into a Zandalari troll this week. I was finally able to do so, and the reason this is so exciting is dinosaurs. All your fight forms and flight forms are freaking dinosaurs, and lizards, and it's super cool, and I'm super excited that I have my Zandalari druid. And then now I have am I going to raid, or am I just going to play in-game stuff? We'll see. But my goal is actually to get the Kultiran next for my Alliance side, so I can have the cute, adorable Kultiran folk. They're awesome people. I don't know. I just like the way they did the models a lot.
I like them too. I made a warrior. And he's just kind of like sitting there now, but they're like big and beefy. They look like linebackers,
Yes.
So I had to make a warrior.
I like them because they're strong, chubby ladies, and I like them. And I'm like, I just want to make a strong, chubby lady shaman or something. She's gonna be awesome when I get there. So let's see. Met up with some Diamond Clubbers and DKG kids in Phoenix. Shout out to Time Jumper and Sunbun, and TVZ Gone and Marbles, and of course, me going to Phoenix is always 2 weekends in a row, if you can believe it, because I had the hiking and the whatnot and the botanical gardens in Phoenix, and then the next weekend was meeting up with all the nerds in Phoenix. So it's been a lot of Phoenix for me. I'm good on Phoenix for a hot minute.
The Terror of Tucson.
You're right. The Terror of Tucson visits the lovely city that is Phoenix. No, we went to Lolo's, which is Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, which is crazy delicious, so good, and
Chicken.
super awesome. Yeah, so it was super fun, and I was excited that like Sheep and a bunch of other folks came out, so it was cool. We had a good handful of people just hanging out in Phoenix, which was cool. So yeah, that has been my adventures in nerditude lately. I suppose that brings us right to the Geek Grapevine.
Cruise team, assemble! Geek Grills Grapevine.
So tomorrow is WWDC. Yay! I know not all of you care, but I am a bit of an Apple nerd, so I'm looking forward to it. There's some hardware announcements being speculated, which I think is really quite a thing. They might be releasing a monitor, which hasn't happened in a super long time. I will have in our show notes, and I have posted in the chat, the link to a live blog that Ars Technica will be doing, so you can catch up with everything that happens tomorrow. My phone has been nagging me all day. I know there's an update coming for iOS, and that's a little... They're treating it a little differently, so I'm really curious to see what it actually entails. I know that they're splitting some things up, and that's been coming, right? iTunes has gotten clunky. I quit using it a lot of the time because, I mean, there's just too much in there. And they've been pushing their podcast app, and then they changed the way that worked, and then they changed it back. So they're streamlining, making those into different apps.
Are you using Spotify?
No.
what do you use for music? Just curious, because I'm kind of like I'm an Apple fanboy personally, and I'm using iTunes, and so I'm curious.
YouTube is what I use for music.
Honestly,
Okay.
so when my bestie was in town, she is an iPhone user, like dedicated Mac or Apple user, and she is rocking Spotify. She finds it best and easiest to use in the car and easiest to grab what she wants. And fun fact for those of you that don't know, you can get a super cheap subscription to Hulu and Spotify if you're a student. It's like $4 a month, so you should do that. You have to deal with commercials, but it is kind of cool to get both for free. Oh, for like a small amount.
Yeah, I don't use my phone a lot for music, actually. Well, I have a few playlists. Like, I do use the music app for my workout playlists, for instance, when I go to the gym. But I use Overcast for my podcast, and that's mostly what I plug into and listen to in the car. Although Sirius has been free for a little bit, and that's making me happy because I can listen to First Wave all the time. But I do hope they straighten it out. The big reason I stopped using mostly iTunes was organizing my music and podcast in one place, and you could just drag and drop and resort, and it became sloppy, and it was duplicating, and it was just harder to take care of. The same thing with their podcast app. It was great, and then it started not paying attention to what order I wanted them in, not saving it correctly. It would pick up at the beginning, even if I stopped in the middle of a show. When I went back to it,
That's like my
was...
biggest pet peeve. Like, I need you to not ever do that to
iTunes-
me.
Like, my iTunes would do a thing where it cut off the end of songs.
Oh,
Like, yeah, like, I'd be listening through to a song, and it would just, the last, like, 30 seconds or minute wouldn't be there. It was just gone.
Yeah,
that's terrible. I never had that problem.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
That's strange.
that is
But I
no
hope
bueno.
separating it, I hope we hear a lot about this tomorrow and that they straighten it out, because I like having it all in one universe. I like the security of it and the ease of use that I'm used to with Apple. I feel like Steve died and they stopped paying attention to that end user, what we want stuff, right? They got, I think, buried in their own, but it's better this way, but it's better this way, world that he always saw through to the end on. So
For work,
look
I
forward
have
that
to use.
and hopefully some of these hardware things. I'm very, very curious.
So for work, I have to use an Apple laptop. I haven't touched an Apple device, like a computer or a laptop, since I was in college, which was a while ago. And I feel like such an idiot. Like, I can't even copy and paste. I don't understand how to like open things. I'm like, I was like hitting up Curtis. I'm like, Curtis, help me. How do I? No, for real though. How do I like find a thing that somebody sent me? Like, it got sent to me, and I don't know where it went. I feel like it's just a total noob, but yeah, it's interesting. So now I'm back into wanting to know more about Apple because I'm going to be using Apple devices for work. So have to be comfortable with it, I guess. I'll get there, maybe. We'll see.
I think the trick still is going between the two, and I still use both. I mean, I still do all our editing on my Mac, even though my Mac is 10 years old. It can't even handle the stream. I have to do that on the PC because it's so old. But just the ease of use with just do the thing that makes sense to complete the task will work on the Mac. When you're used to the PC, in Windows, there's all this like, it takes me 3 to 5 steps to do the same thing. It's like I kind of have to make it harder, and that's how it'll work on the PC. Like people say Apple's dumbed down. I am a stalwart that, no, but the machine just works for me. It just does what I tell it to instinctively.
I think that's a common thing that I tend to talk to people about, like especially around iOS and Android. Like it's not like one is better than the other. It's really just a matter of preference. Frankly, it's what's the experience that you're looking for, and there's not a wrong answer there. I used to work for Apple actually, and I remember these sort of keynote events being like real, like kind of like big events. Like we used to go to a big sort of HQ building, which is down the road, and we used to sit in the theater and watch it happening live. And I feel like, to a point you made earlier, September, there was like, there was a real fervor around Steve going up on stage. I feel like some of that has been kind of lost since he died, unfortunately. But it's still kind of like exciting in my heart to hear, like what's going to be kind of coming up on the horizon tomorrow. And like just for instance, the monitor thing that you were talking about, I remember selling those like big 30+ inch monitors. They were like gigantic, hooked up to a big tower, and they were good monitors. They were hella expensive, but yeah, I can't wait to see if that is something that they're actually leading with. That's great. Also, an overhaul on the Mac Pro I think would be a lot of fun to kind of see what they end up doing with that.
Yeah, that they're actually talking about component based, I think is also really exciting.
Hey, you might be able to upgrade that 10-year-old Mac. Holy
No,
cow,
not this one.
running.
It's way too close system.
What,
But it'd be nice to do that in the future, and that's maybe like, but you can never upgrade it, and you can never add stuff to it, and people don't get Macs because of it. But then again, you have that safety, you have that solidity, and it will last you 10 years. I don't need to upgrade it until after it's obsolete. But if they get it so that it's still self-contained enough, it still has that quality control of it being only their products and they're all going to work together, but you could add more RAM later if you need to, or change the processor, would be an interesting step. I'm not going to get my hopes up they're going to go that far.
No, maybe they end up going that direction. I mean, but to your point, like my dad used his PowerBook G4 for like it was like 7 or 8 years or something, and for a laptop, holy shit, like that's a long time for a laptop.
Yeah. That was a geriatric laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. My dad had his Dell for a really long time though too, but that was like those like Dell Latitudes, like those first ones where, I guess it was like the second ones.
Were solid,
but they were solid, absolutely solid, and nobody has ever done laptops that are that reliable since. I mean, I literally had to buy a laptop for school, and I got one that died after like a week. Luckily, it was like under warranty, and I can get another one. But I was like, seriously. And then something happened to that one. It's like, oh, geez, like, come on, guys. But that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I've worked at the company I'm at now for about almost 4 years. I've had like 3 different Dell laptops just because they keep crapping out on me. And, I mean, I actually enjoy using a PC. Like the computer right over here is my gaming PC. Like, use it for different things. So I'm not a purist by any stretch of the imagination. But there is something to be said about sort of the longevity historically that I've seen with Macs. So looking forward to what they have to announce tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm interested too to see. I very seriously considered getting more into it again, going the more Apple way for different things for music production and stuff like that. But we'll see. I'm excited to see. So I put this next one in here, and it mostly is in here not because of who they cast for Lenina, but because I didn't know that like my favorite book is being made into a show, and I was like, wait, what? So Brave New World, Aldous Huxley's novel, which I'm sure a ton of people were forced to read in high school. That's like a really popular one to force on the
I
children.
love that book too. Though.
Yeah, no, I have reread it more times than I should admit out loud. It's I also really like his other books too, but I'm excited to see this as a show. So it's going to be on the USA Network, and possibly the NBCU streaming platform, which I don't even know where the fuck I'm going to access that. But when the show comes out, I guess I will Google the how the fuck to stream this and figure it out.
Where there's an internet, there's a way.
Yeah, right? Like, I actually been having a hard time because this is the first season where the clampdown on the RuPaul's Drag Race stuff has been so hardcore that without having a subscription that I can't afford, I can't even get it like I normally could. And the cost went up to buy the episode. So I'm like, oh, man, it's getting a little crazy trying to figure out where everything is all the time. But I am very excited that they're making this into a show. I'm interested to see how that goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I put up this last little tidbit here. The first trailer for Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance dropped, and I was so excited. I watched it going, it's so pretty. Look at all the puppets. They're flying. I was so happy.
Yeah. So they film sacked this recently, by the way. If you don't listen to Film Sack, it's good times. And the Scott Johnson and crew film, and Brian Ibbett too, of course. But they did the original recently, and it made me go back and rewatch it, and I was like, there's some stuff that is not is showing its age a bit. a little bit.
Well, honestly, I actually have never seen the Dark Crystal, like the first one.
Oh,
so coming home from Europe, I had taken off the rest of the week. I got home on Wednesday, and then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna take off the rest of the week, and then I'm heading back to work tomorrow, and I got to start traveling again. Anyway, so I said I'm gonna sit down and watch Dark Crystal. It's free on Amazon Prime right now, so I hopped on the internet and started watching it, and I couldn't get through it, guys.
Oh my gosh!
But here's the thing. Frankly, like I also had to I couldn't keep watching it when I had to stop it. Like I had something I had to go and do. But the whole time I'm like, man, this just doesn't hold up. And I feel so bad about that because everybody talks so highly of this movie, and I will give it another shot. I will. Just
I think you have to put yourself like in a younger mindset in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was meant to be a kids movie, but then it was so dark.
Dude,
right? So there was definitely a lot of niche people that grabbed onto it. I mean, it's called a cult classic.
You do have to get over the fact that the protagonist is a little bit of a whiny bitch at the beginning.
Okay. All right. So, like, I'm really actually happy to hear you say that because it was the whole time I'm like, God, this guy's kind of a wiener. Like,
he is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm happy to hear that. All right.
No, not just you.
Guys,
From someone who likes the movie, yeah, he kind of annoys me a little bit.
The things about the trailer, people are like complaining about the look being so different because they're using some CG, but they are still obviously using some practical effects and puppets. And from what I saw in the trailer, I'm happy with the combination there. I mean, they could have gone way overboard and completely modernized it, and I think it would have lost a lot of the feel that you get. It would have lost the Henson, right?
Yeah.
sure.
It really is like it feels so genuine, like a real. It's really paying homage to the original, and that's really what made me want to watch the original because I was like, dude, this looks badass. I really want to like see what this is all about, finally. And I was like,
It's definitely gonna be less clunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I will definitely be checking it out though. I can't believe it's this soon that we have a trailer already.
Yeah.
Like this is so quick.
It's coming out soon. Like it's coming out this year.
There are too many movies this year.
But yeah,
like 3 months away.
I went to trivia on Thursday and there was a question about the trailer, like the trailer for what, the sequel to what movie, Age of Resistance, came out this week, and I was like, oh, I know.
if you want some interesting, like, a look at the back end of it, they usually have, you can find the the look backstage of them doing all the stuff with the puppets for the original. I know it's on the special features for the version of it that I have on Blu-ray, but it's very interesting.
I remember seeing those because I had a friend who had it on Laserdisc.
Yeah, I remember working in the library and having to check Laserdiscs out to
Like,
people, and they're like, "Well, I'm sorry, what is this? What do I do with this?"
Yeah,
It's
but
not even old. It's
it's
just
really,
that the format was so weird.
yeah, it's really interesting though, because you get to see, like, when you look at the movement, it's like, oh, that's why they're moving in that way, because the actors that are in these costumes are having to do it a very specific way to get them to move like that. So I think you'd find that interesting, even if you don't find the movie itself like super engaging. The artistry is really cool to look at.
Yeah, and that's actually something I was looking at, because I have a tremendous appreciation for, like, how is the thing made. Like, my daughter is, I have a 2-year-old daughter. She's obsessed with Sesame Street, like, loves Sesame Street. And it drove me and my wife to, like, go to Google and be like, okay, but, like, how does Big Bird work?
Yeah.
How do they get Cookie Monster with the 2 arms and the guy with his, moving his mouth and stuff? And just, like, watching the puppeteering, the amount of, like, it's like mastery, man. Like, the way that these people are able to work these things, it's crazy. So yeah, no, I will absolutely. I am on the internet saying this for the record. I will go and give it another shot, people. I promise. But
And by the way, this hits Netflix August 30th, by the way, just to give people the point of reference there. So yeah, it is coming up quick.
And as a quick aside, and a funny story about Laserdisc, it's actually from my husband. His parents were always on like cutting edge of everything that you could buy, and so when Laserdisc started becoming a thing, they bought Laserdiscs, not knowing that it would like not be a thing. And that he that was the first time he and his brother sat down to watch The Shining. And The Shining is on 2 Laserdiscs.
Yeah.
And the
I was
first
gonna say, how many was it?
the first Laserdisc ends with the blood coming out of the out of the walls and everything, and he didn't watch the rest of it until he was like several years older. They were just like, nope, and they put the Laserdiscs away.
Oh, jeez. No,
One of my sons used an online handle of Laserdisc, but he had it in like leet speak with the 3 for an E and stuff.
People are like, what is this?
You even know what that is? He's like, well, yeah.
It just sounds cool.
Anyway, yeah, made me feel old. He was trying to be like a hipster about it.
I was about to say, it sounds like a total hipster thing to be
right?
Like, yeah, I have a Laserdisc.
Yeah, Laserdisc. Like, dude, no. You're 13. Stop.
Oh, man.
You're not kidding anyone. You know that, right? But I get to see more Skeksis without having to go to World of Warcraft and visit the Arakoa.
Fuck the Arakoa. I get tired of killing them after a while. Sorry. I just went back and did some old content recently, and I was like, ugh, slightly traumatizing.
But remember the first time you saw him, you were like, oh my god, it's Skeksis. I mean, they even call it Sketis. Like,
yeah, right? No, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, so he's been chatting with us. So today our guest is Alex. And Alex is another individual who is on America's Next Top Podcaster podcast. And that is still a hard title to say, but we did it. Yeah. So you were, in fact, a finalist. Spoilers, people. It's been weeks, so don't get mad at me. Yeah, so I guess what was the first impressions, like, was it as hard as it? We all were like, this is so hard. We don't know how they're doing this. Was it that hard? How hard was it?
Yeah, it was. I'll say this. I think hard is relative. I think it was just a lot of work.
Yeah.
If people aren't familiar with the show, go to americasnexttopodcaster.com and go kind of listen through some of the content, because we had to make a new bit of content. We had to create a new podcast every single week. And doing that, and people who make podcasts like you guys know, like, just even coming up with a thing in the first place is almost impossible. And we had to do that in 3 or 4 days.
In 10 minutes, like, not just a new podcast. Everything. It's like
on the shows.
Yeah, like, you can't go, like, that's a tough sometimes there's things where you want to go longer or shorter, but it's hard to get something that's going to fit, and it's going to seem like you just grabbed an episode of a podcast and creating that illusion in like you said, doing it in a couple days and then working with teams remotely, like chaos. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, right? Like we were thrown into this thing, and I between me and Amy, because we were there the longest, I ended up in second place, and because of just like how much of a toll it takes on your first of all, like your personal life, because every single night, after we put the baby to bed, it's like, okay, gotta hop right on the podcast thing. And between that and then also just your creative output ability, like you just become creatively exhausted. And that was a term that I used towards the end of the thing. Amy and I were just kind of talking aside, and we were like, dude, creatively exhausted. Like I can't even think about how to create a new thing of anything. Like it was just way too much. So it was a great exercise for what I ended up kind of just realizing, like what I could do, like the capability that I had to create podcasts and do all that. But it was also just really time consuming to a point that was like that's what I think surprised me a lot, was how much time this actually took.
Yeah, and I'm sure your wife was happy to see you again.
Yes.
Like, because that was the big thing.
She was a champ. We had a lot of conversation, and I think that's part of going into any sort of endeavor like this. And we saw that with the first guest who got eliminated, the first contestant, Brandon. Like he just had a lot going on his plate, where he really wasn't able to commit the time to doing this. And you have to be willing to just go at it for, what was it? It was like 12 weeks. So almost 3 months straight of just the grind. And it was good though. It was well worth it. It was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
That's awesome.
Now the sequel is supposed to be happening. At some point, Brian said that was going to go out, the applications for this contest, at the end of April. But I haven't seen that happen yet.
It has not happened yet. I've been keeping my eyes open because in Vegas,
I don't want to nag him or anything.
Brian told me that all three of us, the ladies here, should apply for the next season of the show, and that was when we were in Vegas. So it had not gone out at that point at the end of April.
I'm waiting. And one thing about it is, like Alex was talking about the time thing, because I was talking to my husband. I was like, all right, I want to apply to do this again. If I get in, I am going to need you to pick up some slack at like dinner time, bedtime, like, and he's just, but I was like, all right, bright side is Brian said this time, right on the application, it's going to say what nights certain things are going to happen with the judges and everything. He's like, okay. Like that made a huge difference, and even the idea of being able to manage the time and apply and not get eliminated because there is something else on Wednesday at X day.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that, and I'm kind of working closely with Brian and Hammond on some of the, just like some of the interviews and stuff in between the seasons. I'm hosting the Diary of a Reality Competition podcast contestant. Yeah, you talk about a crazy name. One of the things that I actually interviewed both of them about was around like the time constraint, and I'm pretty sure it made it on one of their recordings. But yeah, like they learned a lot about, just kind of being setting expectations up front about what sort of time constraint that this is going to have. And I to your point, having a partner who's fully invested in having you succeed at this, like for me, that was tremendously helpful. But that also comes along with, hey, your partner has to know like what the days are. And it took a little bit of time for Deanna and me to figure out, oh, okay, so Mondays are the days where they do the eliminations. And then, Fridays are the days where we got to submit the thing. So I'm going to need to work on these days. And it eventually kind of created a cadence in our personal life, but that it took a little bit for it to get there. I think that now that the precedent has been set with season 1, season 2 should be a little bit easier for contestants and partners of contestants.
I mean, you always learn lessons, right? It's a brand new concept. Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
learn lessons when you
'cause
come
s-
through it again.
You still have to work around whoever that is that ends up on your team. I mean, that's something we run into, and we're only in 2 time zones instead of 3 now. When somebody's schedule changes, like you get thrown to people you don't know. You had an Australian, we had like trying to get that kind of time to work together as a team, and then they change your team. Um, there's some of it that can't get much better. I think anybody applying still needs to be a certain amount of flexible.
Absolutely, and that's so true, man. Because I was working with Gidget towards the later part of the competition, and thank God she has a crazy sleep schedule to begin with. Like she
Yeah.
kind of sleeps on West Coast hours anyway, and so not really West Coast. Like she was like up a majority of the time that I was awake too. So we were able to talk on Discord. We were able to email back and forth and share some ideas. But man, that is an outlier. If they end up putting somebody on this thing that's in the UK or not in the States, that's going to be a challenge. And certainly, I don't envy their decision on however that has to work out. Because holy shit.
All right, I have to ask, and your favorite of the challenges and your least favorite of the challenges, like favorite and worst.
Oh God. My least favorite is easy. That's the comedy one.
Yeah, I was gonna. I
because
knew you were gonna say that one because that is so ridiculous. That is such an ask.
God.
And even Jury, we talked about it when we were in Vegas, and he was like, "Yeah, that was insane. I don't even know how we're supposed to expect people."
That was the
It's just
thing.
like mean.
like
Be
Schwood-
funny.
Schwood was our guest judge, or our guest coach for that week, and I
he's
gave him some
super
shit.
pointed and helpful and very, very
Yeah.
streamlined in his opinions and helpfulness.
Yeah, like I gave him some shit on it on the Dad Chronicle because I interviewed him there, and just kind of joking with him. But he was like, "Yeah, like either you have it or you don't." And in a lot of cases, it's so subjective that it doesn't really matter what you do. A lot of times, people aren't going to find something funny, and especially if you only have a couple days to like really work something out. You've never done comedy with these people before. What do you expect? So, good luck to you folks next year or next season, because that's gonna suck.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
that's brutal.
Maybe they won't do that one.
Oh, Brian will do it.
Fast they are gonna.
I
do it.
guarantee you, Brian will do it because that is like the wheat from the chaff, like challenge. Like, there's like
Oh.
that. Who can really handle the chaos of this competition?
I mean, Amy almost got kicked, and she won the whole thing. and
Yeah.
Amy almost got kicked that
Yeah.
week
That's true.
because we lost it, and we were all still a team then. So there was that. That's definitely easily my least favorite. My favorite one is probably, So and this is not so much the topic, but actually more of like the emotion that I kind of was able to tap into. I did a podcast for my grandfather.
I'm so
and-
glad that you brought it up because yeah, that was my favorite. It was actually one of my favorites of the entire show.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was
so
really
that,
amazing.
And this is when it was just me and Amy, and it was coming off the tail end of that comedy one actually, and they said you have to do a story. I think that was it was a storytelling podcast, and it helped me kind of tap into some feelings, some emotion that I hadn't tapped into for a while. My grandfather's been dead for a little over 10 years, and to kind of recap that story and to kind of share actually it wasn't really sharing, but just revisiting what his impact on my life was, and kind of that immigrant story, and talking more about how my love of music, of food, of family, and everything kind of comes from him, helped it almost bring it full circle. So into this whole podcasting thing, because my podcasting career started on talking about beer and geeky stuff, and he helped me like really become appreciative of fine drink and fine food and all that sort of stuff, which kind of stemmed from that. So it was a wonderful experience. It was when I don't know if you guys remember from the last episode, they were like, raise your hand if you cried from this show.
Yeah.
And it was specifically because as I was writing that out and I was writing the script, it kind of helped. I shed a little bit of a tear, and it's very rare for me to kind of feel that sort of emotion towards some kind of art that I pursue. So that was fun. That was good.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to have that kind of outlet where, what I'm doing matters.
Yeah.
Personalized, because like so much of podcasting and streaming is just shouting out in the universe, and you're not even sure who's listening.
You're yelling, and you don't know if anyone's there.
And sometimes you finish something really good, and you're like, "Yeah, that mattered."
No,
Yeah,
it
and
like
that's how I felt.
that one in particular, I remember because I was listening to everything, and I was listening it 1.5 times, like I do for most of my podcasts, because I need to like. There's a million things to listen to. It's the only way I can even get some of them in. And I was like heading to the grocery store, and I was gonna have to take my headphones off. And I remember I stopped in the parking lot and went back to the beginning after like being like a minute in, put it on like normal speed, and I totally had to sit in my car for like probably like 10 to 15 minutes afterwards, because I was just like, I had a similar, it's just one of those things where it makes you think about somebody that's been gone for a while, but it just hits you in a really cool way. And I think that's one of the neat things about podcasting as like a forum, right? Is that we're able to have these weird conversations with our listeners, asynchronous conversations with our listeners that like just create, just more waves of cool stories. And I don't know, it was really cool to not feel alone in that situation for sure.
Yeah, I think that especially around family and people passing, there's a common thread of how that emotion kind of hits, no matter who it is. And I remember Nicole saying, it made her cry, and I was like, yes, victory, because like I jokingly told my wife, I was like, I want to make at least one of them cry, and if it is going to be somebody, it's got to be Nicole, because I just knew she had that sort of personality. I thought it would have been funny, but just to kind of hear how she related that similarly to her dad, I realized that it was even deeper than that. It's actually really personal. So that's really cool. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it, Jen.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
awesome. It was really, really cool.
So well done. What was your experience podcasting before the show?
So I had a show. Okay, so from the beginning, I started out.
Well, this would have all gone in your intro, but
Yeah.
This is fine. So I started listening to podcasts all because of Scott Johnson in the instance. And then one thing leads to another. You're listening to TMS. You're listening to other people doing podcasts like Pat Flynn, and like I listened to a tremendous variety of stuff. And I said, I like talking. I feel like I should put a mic in front of me. And I had this good friend of mine, Jojo, who we would always just sit around and talk about geeky shit, and we'd be drinking a beer, and we found ourselves entertaining the people around us as we were having the conversation. So I said, hey, let's start a show. Let's do a podcast. So I said, we both like beer. Like we actually created a podcast that was called the Geek 30 Happy Hour, and it was all about geeky culture, cultural news, and all that stuff. But we would use it as a platform to feature local breweries here in the Northern Virginia area. And so we try a new beer every single episode, and we drink it on air. And in fact, we would actually do live shows at the breweries. So like we'd have a bunch of people come out and watch the show. It was a lot of fun. And then and so that was kind of like my forte, like my foray, like right into podcasting, and that kind of took off. We had about 75 episodes of that, and then we ended up going our separate ways. But it was a lot of fun, and I think like it's because of that I learned so much. Like our first 3 episodes, I went out and bought this Blue Yeti here, this Blue Yeti sitting right here. And this sucker was not plugged in correctly for the first 3 episodes. Right?
Oh man!
Like, why does this just sound like my shitty built-in mic?
Well, that was the thing though. Like we listened back and we were like, it doesn't sound great, but it doesn't sound that bad. And we realized like it was all from my MacBook Pro. Like,
yeah,
it's got a decent mic on there. But, like, why does it sound like there's a wind tunnel? And I remember the 3rd episode, my buddy Chris was on as our guest, and he goes, why is the input say like built in? And I'm like, God fucking damn it. Are you
That shit happens to all of us.
So I was so mad. But anyway, like it's because of that show that I learned the very basics of like how to do all this stuff. And here I am. And then the Dad Chronicle came along, and it actually was due to my wife becoming pregnant, and I said, I want to document my kind of experience through the lens of somebody who's about to become a dad. And
cool.
something that I always wanted to do, was to become a dad. So it was super important to me. So I started out documenting that, and then people loved it so much that they said, keep going. And I ended up starting a culture where interviewing dads and talking about their experience with fatherhood, and it's kind of taken off since then. And I am at it'll be 69 episodes on Wednesday, so
Excellent.
a lot of fun. Yeah, and Wendy Dunford is going to be on that episode.
It's going to be awesome. For those of you that don't know, Wendy Dunford is Scott Johnson's sister, and a real live actual therapist that goes on Thursdays on the morning stream and gives actual advice to actual people, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. And
And
so
she's
she talks
super
about
awesome.
we talk about destigmatizing therapy, but then we also talk
Yes.
about how partners can help their wives deal with postpartum depression and some other things like that. So it's really good. And Commander Meerkat, absolutely technical difficulties up there with death and taxes.
For sure.
And
For
it still
sure.
happens, man. Like, I've been doing this for a few years now, at least, and it still happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I may have to talk to you after the show or something, because my next project I want to take on podcasting, I want to do kind of a nerd parenting show. There were some good ones I used to listen to, and they've all pod faded.
Well, it's
Oh.
like
Like, there's
Jury's
definitely-
brother. Like, he and his wife, they did one when they were like with their first. They were and it was super good. And then it was gone. And I'm like, oh, where did it go? And
Nerd
again,
Parents was great. They had someone who had a disabled child. They had somebody, and they were all different ages of children. And it was such a great resource. And I started writing for their website. They wanted me to contribute articles, and then they disappeared. I'm like, darn it. So I'd like to fill that gap, and maybe you can join me. The other thing is, you're in Virginia. I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, that's easy. I'm in North Carolina all the time, by the way. So
And I
you're
have
gonna have to
friends,
go
like,
down
I
and
came
check out
straight
the band.
to. I came straight to recording from the brewery I hang out in.
oh, really?
Yeah, I had to take them. I made some guacamole, so I had to take them some guacamole, and they give me beer, and then I come do my show. But my husband's band also has a gig coming up in September in Williamsburg.
Oh, very awesome.
We're
Very
gonna
awesome.
have to hang out. We're gonna have to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Whereabouts in North Carolina are you?
Statesville,
Oh, okay.
north of Charlotte.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love
Very
it. I'm like the weirdo that's in the weird time zone on the other side of the country, like over here. Like,
But you
hey,
got to go to
guys.
Vegas, and I didn't.
That's
so-
true. That's true.
We'll live on the East
Alex
Coast.
Alex and I, in fact, were also on the same Overpants team. And we couldn't
How did
even
that go,
hear
Jen?
we couldn't even hear each other. Alex is going to be our strat caller, so we sit down and we're just like, what the like, I can't hear him. Like,
You know what
he's
it
the one
sounded like?
person we need to hear.
Shoot the guy. Shoot that guy.
Are you telling him to do what?
Yeah,
am I
exactly.
changing or is he changing? Are you playing her? What?
I'm
sorry, did you hear that?
Stick the microphone in my mouth in order for them to hear me. It was gross. I mean, Scott Johnson was just on that microphone, and it did like dog or something.
Oh, I know. Like, oh, geez. But it was super fun, and I still think the casting that was done by it still was really cool to be at the HyperX like arena. That was like a really cool way to have it. It was fun, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like listening to Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett, who clearly do not play very much Overwatch, who are just like, the girl with the arms is doing the thing with her gun, and then they're gonna go to the other part of the map where the things are happening. And I'm like, cool. Like, you could literally just play it behind any other like thing.
But I wouldn't have had it any other way.
I
Honestly,
know, it was
a blast.
delightful. It was
If
really
people
delightful.
actually, if folks who are listening want to go and watch, I think it's on twitch.tv/frogpants. They got the
Yeah.
recording there.
Yeah.
You can watch our terrible performance.
You can watch Petey Rave dance in front of the camera, and you can see Sheep, Victoria's Sheep, which for the remainder of the weekend, all we did was go every time he came into the pool area or anywhere, we were like, sleep the sheep, and started chant. And in fact, last weekend when I was in Phoenix, Sheep's nearby. So Sheep came out to hang out in Phoenix last weekend, and like as soon as he walked in the door, Chicken and Lolo's, I'm like, sleep the sheep. He's like, stop it. We're like, where's your medal? He's like, it's at work. He's super proud of it though. So adorable. It was a fun event. It was really cool.
The funny thing about people who don't really play commentating, it reminded me of, did you ever see the Conan ones? Where he goes to a con and does that, right? He was at
Yes.
BlizzCon doing that. It so reminded me of that.
Oh man.
So what was the best advice you got during the process?
Oh gosh. I think so. So Jury said it best, and this is a really good point. It's like effort is like one of the most important things that you can really focus on when podcasting, because like it's easy to just throw yourself in front of a mic and just start talking, like, and that's what that's a great place to start. But like where you're going to end up going and how you want to be remembered and how you want to make an impact is really going to be on the effort. And I think a part of that is so a personal mantra of mine is what value are you bringing to the conversation.
Yeah.
And like when I create a show like the Dad Chronicle, the value is that I want to provide support and resources for parents who may be struggling with whatever that is that they're struggling with. And that is a big part of it. So with that effort going into a topic like therapy, for instance, the one coming up, like there has to be like, why are people going to give a shit when they listen to this thing? Oh, it's because they really want to figure out a way to solve a problem with with their kid. I don't want to give away too much from the episode, but like you'll see when you listen to it. That's kind of what goes through my mind based on a lot of the stuff that Jury had mentioned. And honestly, in a lot of cases, the value could also be entertainment. Like joystick and mouse is, we bring up video game news topics, but it's also entertaining. We're fun and we have funny conversation, but I think it's just constantly having in the forefront of your mind the effort and what value are you bringing.
That whole why do I care?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's a piece.
That's one of the things that Linda came onto this show, ready to just because that's one of the things we've loved to do is to talk about and destigmatizing mental health and therapy and all of that. Like that has been a major part of what we've done. We've touched on that topic a million times on this show, and I know Linda, like that was the thing is she's like not afraid, like, oh, let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about body image. Let's get crazy.
Yeah,
like,
the second episode I did with Ember was body dysmorphia.
Yep.
Yep.
In that episode, I've actually
what do you wanna do? I don't want to, make it too hard. I mean, you're just, you're new to the show. She's like, nope, I'm not afraid.
Yep.
Do something really hard. All right.
That's where people are going to remember and they're going to give a shit because a lot of people are afraid to go there. And I think that it's important if you have the right sort of message and the right sort of frame of mind around some of these topics, just simply having a genuine conversation about it really can change somebody's life because they hear it from a similar perspective where they may feel alone in the world about a topic like that.
Yeah, no, and the emails, when we get emails like that, or even tweets, or like even just a direct message from somebody, it gets me every time when they're like, oh man, I just really loved hearing you say it. I'm like, oh, this is why I love podcasting. And I would like to note, just as a random aside, during our vacation last week was in fact the official 3-year anniversary of Geek Grill's very first episode, The Geekening, which came out on May 29th of 2016. So we have officially been doing this for 3 years.
Years.
It's nuts. Who knew when it started with a Weird Heroes game, and now here we are.
Right?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey, I think that bottle of wine, every show.
Right? Oh man.
We
Gosh.
should have Joss on to celebrate.
I know we should. We can do the hat trick again.
Just do the rounds.
Oh man. Any other last thoughts about that experience that you had that doing the show and just podcasting in general?
No, I think one thing that I'll say is that a lot of people have asked me like, oh, how do I get started? Like, what do I do? Just start.
Yes.
Frankly, just start. I'm pretty sure, Tom's interview went out for America's Next Top Podcaster. So, toward in just some context around that. So, I have been working with Brian and Hammond to put together a series of interviews where we're talking to all of the former contestants, the coaches, the judges, and all these people around their experiences on America's Next Top Podcaster. So part of that, I talked to Tom Merritt, and I asked him, what do you say to those people? And Tom gave a lot of really good advice on like just how to start for free. Some people may think of it as like a financial burden to start. No, there's like no excuse, guys. Just go freaking do it. Also, they're afraid that, what am I gonna do? Everybody talks about all the things that I want to talk about. Guys, I do a freaking video game podcast. Do you realize how saturated the video game
Oh.
It's because I enjoy talking about it. And I have followers who are gonna listen to it, and that's really why I do it. Is just to have fun with it. Do it. Just do it. Just start. I feel like that Shia LaBeouf meme. Like, don't
Do
no,
it.
just
No.
just start doing the thing, and it will, and have fun with it first and foremost. If you really want to take it to the next level, just really take into consideration that why, and really challenge yourself on what value you're bringing to the world. And shameless plug, just go to americasnexttopodcaster.com and go listen to those interviews, because I'm having a lot of fun with them.
Also, shout out your website where folks can hear your I will do it again later, but just so you can hear it again.
You can listen to everything, all the stuff that I got going on, incastmedianetwork.com, and you can see there are links there for the Dad Chronicle. There's links there for Joystick and Mouse. It's a lot of fun.
And yeah, we'll make sure to put that in the show notes for everybody too. And remember, you can always chime in. You can email us at geekgrills@gmail.com. You can give us a ring at 508-474-5577, or you can tweet us at geekgrills. So I hope you're feeling all like marinated, this nice long conversation that we've had, because you're about to be grilled. So
let's go.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling good. So this is going to be a rapid fire would you rather questions. So
okay,
here we go.
All right.
All right. So would you?
Wait, here, hold on.
He's like, I need that.
All right.
Yeah, what are you
that
drinking?
swig.
What are you drinking?
I had this Sam Adams like variety pack.
Summer.
I
Yeah.
love their
Yes,
variety
this is some-
packs. Honestly, it surprises me every time.
I don't have a problem with them. They just bought Dogfish Head Brewery.
No, I was funny. I was going to ask if you drink Dogfish Head, because that's one of my favorite beers from when I lived in Northern Virginia. Actually, is Dogfish Head.
Yeah, it's great. And everybody's all pissed that they bought them. Like, doesn't matter. Like, it's gonna be good. It's fine.
Maybe
Like,
that
calm
just
down.
means I'll get better access to it out here on the other side of the country. That'd be cool
It
for
just
me.
means good stuff for distribution, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like North Carolina. We've been fighting forever for breweries to be able to distribute more. They have a limit on how much they can distribute. So people got really mad because Wicked Weed was bought by Budweiser, but Budweiser hasn't touched anything.
Yeah.
It's just a distribution point.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Totally.
All
I'm
right.
a little bit of a beer snob, but Sam Adams, like,
Oh,
I
I
can get
think
a
we're the
case,
worst.
the mix pack, the mix case, and I like half of them. My husband likes the other half, so it's like a really good backup beer.
Yeah, totally.
All right, here we go. So first
Rapid
and
fire.
foremost, would you rather have to eat all of your food hot or all of your food cold?
Cold.
Okay, interesting. Would you rather have a head the size and shape of a baseball or the size and shape of a loaf of bread?
Only because my head, I got a big ass, guys, and I think that if I were to have it a little bit smaller, that wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, and then the classic. This is the one that this is. Oh man, priorities. Would you rather live without the internet or live without AC and heating?
AC and heating.
Yeah, same. Same. I'll be in a fucking
That was
desert,
fast.
115
Yeah,
degrees, and make my shit still work.
Guys, we're in 2019. How the hell is anybody gonna live without the internet these days? There's no way I could go the rest of my life without. This is like the heroin thing. You get a little bit of a taste, and you gotta keep on having it. You can't not have internet. What is that?
Would you rather have unlimited pizza for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Pizza.
Interesting.
Well.
See, I don't know.
All right. So here, let me ask you. I'm gonna get kind of specific. What sort of tacos and what sort of pizza?
I think any kind of taco, any kind of pizza.
I'm just gonna throw this out there as a little plug for my cousin because he is a chef, and he actually beat Bobby Flay. He was on TV and beat Bobby Flay at his.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good. Bobby
Vic
Flay's such a
Albisu.
stick.
So my cousin has a restaurant called Taco Bamba, and it is some of the best street taco style taco thing. So that if I can have Taco Bamba for the rest of my life, unlimited, which I kind of do anyway because I'm family, and that's what I go for over pizza.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and the last and final grilling question: would you rather have no elbows or have no knees? So do you want noodle legs or noodle arms?
Noodle legs, only because I'm a guitarist and I got to be able to kind of
That's fair.
It's legit. It's legit.
I support all of those answers. All right, girls. What are you all anticipating? What's on deck for you right now? Linda, what's up for you?
I've got a LARP coming up, so it's another Garden of Destinies game, which means I get to do my jazz singer. Hopefully by not next weekend, but the weekend after, which is when the game is, I'll have my full singing voice back because we are having a one-day battle of the bands to get rid of this demon
Sure.
lady performer stealing bitch that has been. I'm so angry. She's been a villain for the past half a year, and she's played by one of my really good friends who plays her really well. So I'm
Yeah.
I hate you. Not really, but I hate you so much.
Those are my favorite plots to run are the ones where everybody loves it but also hates it because they want to get through it, but they're also just really enjoying it. And so I'm just yes, this will continue. And then I'm ooh, but I don't want to end it. But then they're enjoying it so much. But at the same time, yeah,
What's funny
the
is
big
that,
bad forever.
because she's got a fancy name Alizarian, but I played off that my character doesn't care, and so she just calls her the demon bitch. So it's just everyone knows who I'm talking about in play. So
That's awesome.
that's coming up.
Oh man, Ember, what's up for you?
Well, I plan on checking out. There's a new hookah lounge that opened up 2 doors down from the brewery I hang out at. So that'll be neat. And I walked through. They had a soft opening last night, and there was a couch area in the back that has paintings of Harley and the Joker. I'm they made me a spot? All right. I will come back. Maybe playing some WoW. My son Victor got a job, and his first purchase from his first job was, Mom, can I sort of use your account? Because you have all those mounts and stuff. And he wants that new the Colteran. So he's been doing that grind. I'm cool.
Awesome.
I might play. My account's active. So that's kind of a nifty little bonus. And it's really funny though. The day before he was trashing on Blizzard, trashing on WoW, this dead game. The company doesn't listen. They can't balance a game. And then the next day, can I sub in your account? So yeah. Heresy and Hearsay is moving to the former Geek Grill spot. So Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on my channel, twitch.tv/9 of 12, we'll be starting up Heresy and Hearsay again.
Yay. 8 o'clock Eastern, by the way.
Yes, Eastern.
Alex, what's up for you? I'm guessing more interviews, but any other fun nerdy stuff coming up for you?
Yeah, lots of interviews coming up across a lot of different shows. So I've got America's Next Top Podcaster. Rishi's episode just came out. It's just kind of a rehash. I kind of add a little bit of extra context around the submission that I did earlier on for the show, but that is out. And this week coming up, I believe it's my conversation with Jury. So be sure to tune
Fresh
in for
off
that.
his pasta eating trip to Italy.
Well, this was recorded back at
gotcha.
in Vegas.
Oh boy.
It's just kind of coming out. So that the Dad Chronicle new episode coming out with Wendy Dunford this week. So you can go to thedadchronicle.com and make sure you subscribe on iTunes, or I'm everywhere on Stitcher and Google Play and all that stuff. So that Joystick and Mouse have some new episodes that are probably going to come out in a couple weeks when I'm done traveling. So when you ask what I'm anticipating, I'm traveling again. I'm leaving Indianapolis tomorrow for work, and then I got to go to Denver. for work. And while I'm in Denver, though, I'm going to catch up with Brian Ibbett and Nicole Spag, which will be a lot of fun. And then, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. It's like I'm looking at like a 2-week kind of head start right now. I'm not really paying attention to too much more other than that. And I'm just spending time with my daughter, and it's just a ton of fun.
That's all. How old is she?
2.
Two.
Going on
Yeah.
16. It's great.
Well, it is, for me right now, it is Dark Phoenix, man. I'm stoked. I'm feeling good about it. I'm knocking on all of the wood things nearby me as I say this. But I'm feeling real good about it, and I'm super excited no matter what, just to have that story come up again, because it's still one of my favorite sagas from like any comic book story. So I'm excited to see it. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah. Ember, you want to remind the folks where we are live?
Well, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on Tuesday evenings. Our next one will be June 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific time.
Other way. 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm like, wait a
What?
minute. I'm backwards.
Oh, no.
You're backwards.
I'm like, I don't think I'm
7
doing this
p.m.
at 1 o'clock in
Eastern.
the morning.
4
There.
p.m. 4 p.m.
Pacific.
Pacific. Ta-da!
Don't worry, it'll get great when my time zone changes again in a few months. It'll be great.
Doesn't change
Wait,
that.
wait.
Doesn't
Just
change
let me
that
say
part.
it so I can edit and not sound stupid.
Okay,
Okay.
7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific.
there you go. Awesome. And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, remember we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest grill friends on the internet. You can become a patron today, patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free. You get a free sub every month when you have Amazon Prime, and you can give us all of the Amazon money that they don't need. They don't need it. But we would like to have it so that we can do more.
Bezos is fine.
That's right.
Yep.
He's doing great.
You can also leave us a review, which is free, and you can, if you do that, they help our ranking on any of the podcast catchers. You can help people find our podcast by just giving us a little boost. You can also join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like us to help spread the word there. I can talk, I promise.
No Taco Sundays.
No tacos.
Where can we find y'all on the interwebs? Alex, remind the folks one more time, where can they find you on the Twitters and the whatnot?
Sure, you can find me really anywhere on the social medias by just searching for @Alex Albisu. My last name is spelled A-L-B as in boy, I-S as in Sam, U. And then, yeah, all my shows and everything that I do is at incastmedianetwork.com. And, yeah,
Awesome.
that's it. It's easy.
Yeah, we'll make sure it's all in the show notes, too, for all you fine folks. And Linda, where can everybody find you?
You can also listen to me talk about women in gaming on the Glitter Dice podcast, and you can find me here on Twitch under the name True Noob. That's TRUN00B.
And September.
And I can be reached at 9 of 12. That's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch. And you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay and Trust Your Cape podcasts.
I am the Jen. You can find me at the Jen Says on Twitter, streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/thejenplays. And you can find everything I do at thejensays.com because I own the shit out of that domain still. Thanks for listening, everyone, and good game.
Good game.
GG.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
By the way, look at that, kids. Look at that. Oh, hold on, wrong way. Look at that. My permanent,
Yeah.
my
Oh, you
tattoo.
got a tattoo.
Yeah, I
There you
sure
go.
did. I'm branded now.
Alright.
I'm
Oh, I
part of an
missed it.
internet cult for real.
All right, guys. I have to go.
Yeah, Linda's got people.
I gotta go.
Bye, Linda.
Bye.
All right, Linda has people. Let's pick a show title and then pick a raid target. September, where's the... You got it. You're doing it. You're doing a thing. Yeah, we're so glad to have you, Commander Meerkat. Thanks for hanging out. All you folks in the chat. We love it when you guys hang out with us.
Totally.
I do really I like talking. Like the moment you said that, I was like, I feel like that is the title for
Yeah.
Alex's episode is I like talking. I like talking with Alex. I don't know. I'm feeling good about it. I don't know how you folks feel, but that's my vote.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Awesome. All right, boys and grills. Let's see who is.
Not many people
who's
online.
live
Frog
right
Pants
now?
is online.
Domestic Dan's on too. He's always a good time. We could definitely raid the Dan. Steph is on. Frog Pants is There Will Be Dungeons. They're probably like deep in it. They've been in it for hours.
My God.
Let's hit up.
Wanna do Domestic Dan?
Yeah, let's do Dan. We haven't done him in a while.
Oh.
We haven't done the Dan in a while, so that would be cool, I think.
We do a raid call?
Yeah, type it up and I will use it.
Well, I'm typing the raid.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let me pull up my chat again. All right, so Geek Girls Like to Talk.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, folks. Remember, follows are free, so if you don't follow Domestic Dan, he's super cool. You should click the follow when we get there. And thanks, everybody, for listening and hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. There it goes. We are raiding the internet. And it still goes almost.
Add our thing to that. Raid now. It's not letting me click. There we go. Raid now. Ta-da.
Ta-da. Ta-da. Oh my god, it's my 8-month anniversary with Domestic Dan, apparently.
Then.
Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. Sorry, you guys are going to hear this for a hot minute. I'm going to stop the stream.